Hello and welcome everyone to yet another AFR broadcast. This time we come to you for round 21 here at Abu Dhabi, the grand final of season 4. As usual, I am Kuno Zero and with me is Psycho.
Good night, everyone. Good evening, I mean.
It's all good. All right. So yes, as stated, it is the last race of the season 4 calendar here at AFR for both Tier 1 and Tier 2. Now for Tier 1, the championship was already decided many races ago. Revo has taken the World Drivers' Championship for Tier 1 and Renault have taken the Constructors' Championship as well. So this is going to be, for Tier 1 anyway, this is going to be more of a midfield game. There's a lot of points to be won, especially in between the midfield guys. So we'll see. That'll be where the battle happens. But for Tier 2, I believe it's still anyone's game.
True. Now, as you say that with the midfield, so T-Mac and Flyboy competing closely for 5th position, so 130, 119 points respectively. So that's not too far off. If one of them has a bad race, then that could push the other one up. But more interesting for 7th place, Geordie, Band and Wahid are all separated by 3 points.
Yeah, right. So, what was that? Geordie,
Band and Wahid, they're on 93, 92 and 90 points respectively.
Yeah, right. Okay. So like I said, it's going to be... That's where the fight's going to happen. So we should see some pretty good wheel-to-wheel action, I reckon. There's nothing left to leave on the table. This is the last race, so you got to lay it all out there and get as many points as you can before the end. So I'm hoping that we'll see some really good racing. I don't think there'll probably be some crashes. If I had to guess, and I don't even know what the weather's going to do. It's Abu Dhabi, so it's probably going to be just fine, but we'll see how it all goes. We're not too far away from the start, just waiting on some of the drivers to get ready, I believe. Yeah, just got to wait on a couple of them, and then we should be able to get things started.
As you say, there'll be a couple of crashes. I believe Potsy has turned racing line off for this race, so he's on no assists at all.
Oh, okay. Righto, so he's finally going full clean. All right,
yep.
So that'll be interesting. Racing line. Racing line's a weird one in the F1 games. Like, I can drive... Like, I managed to turn it off a while back, so I'm good now. But it's weird. The sense of speed you get in F1 compared to a game like iRacing or rFactor or ACC is so different. Because I can turn the racing line off on any of those and it's fine. But on this, it's difficult. I don't know. It's weird, but... Like, I've finally gotten used to it. But, I don't know. This game's built weird. But anyway,
yep.
It'll be interesting to see how Potsy makes his way around. I'm sure he's done a lot of practice this week for this race, so I'm sure he'll have a handle on it.
He was complaining in the practice sessions because people kept taking out the braking boards.
I remember a while back, I can't remember who it was specifically, but someone was actively taking them all out during a qualifying or something. Oh, and Revo got so mad. He's just like, stop doing that. And I'm like, secretly, I'm just like, keep doing that.
Love it.
But no, they can. I mean, it can be very frustrating, especially if, like, so the trick, of course, is you want to make sure, for those of you in the chat who are looking at using no assists or whatnot. Like, my goal, so the only assist that I use is ABS at the moment. But once F1 2020 comes out, I'm going to completely get rid of all assists. I want to just have nothing on and just race and learn and just deal with. But for those, if you are looking to turn off your racing line, you want to make sure that not only do you have a brake marker in mind, like, say, the boards are great, but pick something that doesn't move. So pick something that can't be destroyed, right? Whether it's a landmark on the track, whether it's the curb, whether it's a shadow, whatever it is, make it something that doesn't move. Because if you rest on, for example, we did myself, Gus Rules, and Band did the 6-hour Le Mans as a practice in preparation for the 24-hour coming up. And I rely on a cone on the side of the road to tell me when to, like, sort of back off and start braking. It was always getting punted. And I'm like, instead of looking at that, I looked at the curb on the other side, and then that was okay because nobody really messes with that. So
I definitely wouldn't recommend going off shadows.
yeah,
Just because different practice sessions to race sessions, you've got day, night, morning, afternoon, so those move. But yeah, static objects are the best. I think for certain brake markers in F1 2020, they have actually moved them up off the track like they do in Singapore.
yes. Yeah, so
hopefully-
Australia has a couple of those because they're all along the fencing and things like that. Zunix, what about the brake lights in the F1 car ahead of you? A couple of things. One, not a brake light. It's the ERS charge light, so get your facts straight. Actually, it's not even that. I'm wrong there as well. The ERS charge light on the wing, that's actually just a safety light for the at the back. It's not actually a brake light, so wrecked. And you could use that if you want, but that's not going to indicate to you how slow a car is coming up. Like, that's the problem. So if you focus on that, it's going to get really big really quick, and you better hope that you're paying attention. Obviously it was a joke. And he's written face plam, so who's the one face plamming now? Yeah. Sphinx there in the chat, going off brake markers is risky. It can be, right? Especially if you're fighting with someone else on track. So if you're fighting with someone else on track, that can most definitely backfire, because if you're focused on the battle and you miss the brake marker, well, someone's getting punted, or you're going off the track. So it's definitely one of those things where it's a balance. You want to have a familiarity with the track, so much so that if you are fighting with someone else, you always consciously know where you can brake. Are you going faster? Do you have a draft? If so, obviously your braking distance is going to be altered, so you're going to have to make a decision to brake earlier. Or do you want to try and make an overtake into a corner? That means you're going to have to brake later, but what is the maximum distance that you can do that and not go off the corner, aka Monza turn 1? So there's a lot of things that you need to know, and brake markers can help, and I think that brake markers are a good thing, but yes, you're not wrong. Sometimes they can be a deterrent, especially if that's all you rely on.
Very fair point. Now, this circuit specifically has good English tonight. This circuit specifically does have a lot of brake markers, and I can guarantee you they're going to be a lot of tiny pieces flying around very shortly. Especially in turn 1, I've noticed in practice a lot of the guys like to mount the curb as they brake, just to make the corner as wide as what they can.
Yep.
So those brake markers do not last long.
Yeah, you want to extend the track, obviously. Using as much surface area as possible. That's what gives you a lot of the speed. Abu Dhabi has all of those little bollards on each corner, and they usually disappear like straight away. Everyone just, it's like it's a suggestion, not a rule. So they'll take them out. I can't imagine we're too far off. Who are we waiting on? Are we waiting on anyone specifically, or is it just? No, I think we're okay.
I'm not sure. We do have a pretty full
waiting for Lotus. Okay. Yeah, we are waiting for just one driver, so he's just hurrying up now. Shouldn't be too much longer. We'll just keep talking randomly.
17. So we have 18 drivers on the grid tonight. That's awesome.
Yeah, no. Almost a full lobby. That's awesome. Hobbsy. Yeah, that's it. You know what? That should be a shirt. I have 2 shirt ideas now. I have hashtag Neilbot and another shirt that should just say in giant bold letters, "Ready Up Lotus."
I don't know if you tuned in on Friday night session, but Matt Sawyer did lose his end plate a couple of times. He did really well in the second race, points to him, but in the first race he did lose his end plate, and second race he managed to keep it on the entire race, didn't lose it, scored fantastically well, epic race, and some dude in chat went, hashtag end plates matter.
Right, my mistake. 3 t-shirt ideas. Hashtag end plates matter. That is... Look at this. We are such a meme culture here at AFR. The community is so great. There's so many. Here we go. Now there's so many coming in the chat now. Shirt idea. T-Smack, Apollo Coke. Apollo Coke. That's funnier than it should be. The other one I would do is Revo sometimes calls him Paolo What is it? Paolo Epsi? Paolo Epsi. Actually, while it's fresh in my head and we're doing a wait, make sure, of course, if you're watching, to follow, like, subscribe to channels, things like that. The Twitter as well. It helps us grow. It helps us make sure you guys are updated with news and events. We have a website now that's live. It is still technically under development, but we have a standing website. You can see that in the chat there, AussieFormulaRacing.com. A lot of blood and sweat in that thing. Jesus Christ, Gus Rules really pulling out all the stops there. Zudix had a good one the other day. Internet connections matter. Milk cow. Oh yeah. Oh, there's so many. See, we're a factory. We're a factory here. So much good content. And also, yeah, we of course we are partnered with Fanatec now, which is awesome. So if you are looking at upgrading your sim equipment, be sure to use our affiliate link. That'll help the channel, and yeah, you'll get some sweet loot to boot. Security risk ahead. Thanks, Firefox.
Is the link up on the Twitch channel
for
Fanatec?
Yeah, it's all in the bio. It's all there. Everything's there in fancy clickable boxes.
Cool.
Oh man, we're dragging on. Oh no, sorry, the counter is started. Okay, so we're about 10 seconds out from getting this qualifying underway, and then of course we will have our 50% race to determine the end of the season. Hopefully, we are in for a good one.
So I had a look at the leaderboards before, and I think it was yesterday or today at some point, Revo set the world record fastest lap around here.
What was the time?
1:32.5.
Our kid's too fast, man.
Just in comparison, if I get into the 1:35s, I'm pretty bloody happy.
The kid's so fast. So fast. Also, actually, this is gonna get political a little bit. Kind of political. If anybody from the DHL fastest lap thing is watching, dude,
Give it a fire.
What? I cannot believe they decided that based on a career mode lap. What? I cannot wait to watch that tomorrow night. Actually, it'll be this morning. Whatever. Pay it. It's gonna. I can't. I have to see it. I have to see this absolutely ridiculous thing. Okay, so we should be able to swap over now. Let's have a look. Alright, so let's get everything set up. Who is going to be the first one? I see a Ferrari. I believe it's probably Gus Rules. Oh no, it looks like one of the Alphas jumped out as well. So the first person out is a Racing Point. That must be Flyboy?
No, it's not.
No,
Apollo.
It's Apollo. Okay. Apollo Pepsi. Well, let's jump on board with him then, as he makes his way around the track.
I like his helmet.
Yes. Yes. Nice motif there. Weird contrast with a pink car, but anyway. All right, so 18 minutes on the clock. Well, 17 now. But they'll have plenty of chances to make their fastest laps around here. Try and qualify as high as possible. Abu Dhabi's... it's a weird track, man. It's a weird track for a grand finale because it's not that great. Like, sure, there's a lot of money poured into it. It's a very nice complex. Nobody knows how to party like the guys from Abu Dhabi, but still not the best in terms of racing. It can produce some good moments, but it's, yeah. There's the Bollard. Thank you, Apollo. He's the first one.
No one seems to like this track. I haven't heard any of the drivers say, you know what, I really enjoy this track.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but it's weird that it's the finale. Like, there's so many others that would make a better last race. But anyway, that's obviously changing, of course. 2020, well, the whole calendar's out the window for 2020. You basically get what you can get. I think it's a double header at Austria, and then they're moving to
Double header.
England.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome, dude. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like, I'm kind of upset that we won't see the new cars now for 2021. They've been pushed back a year, but at the same time, if it's a necessary evil because we don't want the sport to die. Obviously, the funding was tight. The teams are barely hanging on. Like Williams just had to put up a lot of this. They put up their team for sale essentially. So I'm just glad that everything's still moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it could be way worse.
Yeah, definitely way worse. All right, but that's enough of the real life talk. We are in qualifying now, as Apollo Pepsi is making his way around. Entered Sector 2 then. So he will be the first driver on track to set a time. We'll see where he puts himself. Obviously a purple Sector 2. Not hard when you're the first person out. It immediately gets broken.
Revo's currently got Sector 2 locked up.
So it's interesting that qualifying's held with still daytime, but the race is obviously pure night, and it's Bahrain is the same. I mean, you would think they'd hold the events at the same time for parity, but I guess not. I guess that's not a problem. Anyway, there it is. Apollo Pepsi across the line, 1:36.3. And here come the others. Revo already with a 1:33.437. And that will hold pole for now. As another racing point comes through, that'll be Flyboy, 1:35.6. Now the Toro Rossos. Smitty with a 1:35.4. And Nut there with a 1:36.7. Who else we got? Let's jump on board with Combined.
Mikau just jumped into second on a 1:34.1.
Both Haas drivers for that matter. Mikau in second and Major Payne in fourth now as Seb decides he wants that third spot. 1:34.186. Wahid there with a 1:35.0. And Gus Rules coming across with a 1:41.7. That's not right. He's obviously going up with a warm-up. Who else just slotted their way in there? Bandcamp, the other Renault, 1:36.2 in 8th now. So we've still got just under half the grid to set a lap. Combined now coming through that final sector.
Potsy jumps into 4th place with a 1:34.6.
Did Lotus have a quali ban? I don't think so, but he has retired. So either he crashed out or, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to try and figure that one out. Combined there coming across 1:35.9. And that'll put him in 9th position. Who else just came across? Jacob, 1:36.08.
He just slotted in 6th place, 1:35 flat.
Mm-hmm. So Matzoid, T-Mac. Actually, T-Mac is on track. Rhymes all day. All right.
I think T-Mac's on course for a pretty good track. He had a pretty solid Sector 2.
There we go, using all of the curb. I saw a lock up there, which means T-Mac not using ABS. I wonder if I just haven't paid attention that much. Probably. There we go. So Major Payne pulling over to the side. T-Mac now coming through the final corner complex into the last corner. What will the time be? It's 1:31 as he hits the corner up through all the gears, and it will be a 1:34.6. That'll put the Williams driver in 4th place, knocking Potsy down by 1. Who came across with a 34.629. Not a lot splitting those guys. As Matzoid and Geordie are both on their outlaps. Let's jump on board with the end plate destroyer himself. Well, the Thanos of the Formula 1 field. Now let's have a look. So 1:33.4 is the time to beat set by Revo. And then basically all the way down, still within the 1 second up to about... So from 2nd to 8th is within the... Oh, sorry, from 2nd to 7th is within the 1 second, and then gets a little bit bigger. But we've still got 11 minutes on the board, so I'm sure there will be a ton of improvements across it as Matzoid invalidates, unfortunately. But that's his outlap, so who cares?
I think Geordie's coming up to a lap now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Geordie's actually coming up to a lap first. So we'll keep an eye on him as Matzoid comes around. They'll start at similar time. Let's jump on board with the Red Bull. Comes around that final corner and across, starting his flying lap. What can Matzoid pull out of the bag? His teammate, of course, Seb, in third place right now on 34.186. Can Matzoid best him or get even close? We're about to find out through Sector 1 now. Hard on the brakes here as they come into the tight chicane, and then of course the Abu Dhabi hairpin. Usually down into first gear using all that extra thick rotation. And then as you come out there, make sure not to lose traction. Then up into the DRS section, wing open. Absolute flat stick, usually about 335-ish before you get to the end of the corner. Hard on the brakes here as you come to the 100-meter board. Turn in. Hopefully he doesn't get impeded by the Ferrari in front, but it should be fine. Then up through the gears again into the next DRS section. Usually a lot of battles happening here throughout the race. This is where a lot of people fight, try to defend that inside line, and then watch out for that 50 board. Turn in. Nice. Left, right, left again. And then, of course, another sharp-ish left as you come into the back sector of the track. There we go now. Hard on the brakes. Third gear. Nice and smooth. We've got a couple of yellow flags popping up. That's obviously just because of slow drivers. So now up through the gears, 124 on the clock now as we move to the third. So if it hits about 130 as he hit... Oh, and he invalidates right at the end! Oh, no way!
Jordy's
Alright, so
7th.
that's unfortunate. Matzoid just invalidating, going a little bit too wide out of that second last corner. Geordie, yeah, 134.850. So that has put him into 7th. That is a great lap there. Let's jump on with Wahid, who is just crossed the line and already invalidated. Or maybe that's just a glitch. I'm not sure. No, he's gunning like it's still valid. Oh, okay. Yep, no, it's definitely not valid. He just went the four-wheel drive route.
A couple of guys in chat mentioned, and I forgot about this, it is Seb's last race.
It is, for now, yeah. He has decided that he will be stepping away from racing. Obviously staying a part of the AFR community, but just deciding not to race in the next season, which will throw a spanner in the works, but of course that will also make or leave a space for any up-and-comers who wish to join Tier 1. And we'll see, with a new game and new people, maybe the board looks different. So change is not always a bad thing, but Seb, of course, being a popular face around here. Big rip for Matzoid, yes. Yes, it is. There we go. On board with Potty now. His flying lap. Currently sitting 5th with a 134.629. His teammate, combined YouTuber, with a 135.93 in 12th. We'll see if Potty can improve at all. Now, Potty, as I said last week, he now has really good internet, so you see a lot of the talent shine through that you didn't normally see because he was plagued with such a bad connection. So I'm hoping to see him really put on a show here at Abu Dhabi.
Revo's getting a fantastic tow from Flyboy.
Yeah, it seems really... Yeah, and he makes the overtake there, so I'll have to pay attention to the lap right behind Potty here. So Seb's jumped up in a second now, 133.76. Mikau third with a 134.1. Can Potty jump T-Mac? Possibly even Mikau. Come through Sector 3 now. Now some of these corners can bite you, especially this one here. It's a nice banked corner. And it looks like you have to slow down, but you really don't. These F1 cars have so much downforce, you can pretty much hold it flat. But the final corner as you come into the right and then left really does come up quickly. So if you're not paying attention, you end up locking the brakes and just flying straight into the wall. So it's a good thing people have to pay attention. He'll cross the line, 134.4, and it's enough to jump T-Mac and put him into 4th place.
Revo was on for an absolute banger of a lap, but he invalidated.
Okay, so Revo will come in. I'm sure he'll just fit on a new set of softs and then come out again. Do we have any more improvements at the moment? No. Nut is on an outlet. Let's jump on with him as he makes his way around. We'll keep an eye on that board. So Revo's still ahead. Seb in 2nd, Mikau in 3rd, Potsy in 4th, T-Mac in 5th, Major Payne there in 6th. Matzoid with a 134.8 gets himself into 7th place. Geordie and Wahid both on outlaps now, 8th and 9th respectively, and Smitty rounds out that top 10. Smitty has retired. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe a bit of an off, or he's happy with his time. Either way, Nut is now alone for the Toro Rosso camp.
I think Smitty had an off.
Right. Yeah, that makes a bit of sense.
Now, tyre strategies for this one. Very, very interesting because I think the fastest thing you can do around here is actually make a two-stop.
I'm not sure. I have not been keeping up with the strategy talks. Now, everyone is on the soft tyre, so that automatically indicates that they've decided for the faster start, if you will. I guess a two-stop, maybe. How many laps is it? 50% around here.
Yeah. As Red Panda says, soft, medium, medium. That's what I tried. So we did a couple of practice races, me and Stars and Simdogger, and we those guys did soft, medium, soft, and I did soft, medium, medium, and I was quite a bit quicker on the second stint.
Okay, so 2 stops around Abu Dhabi. Well, that will definitely change the dynamic of the race, because when you have to implement 2 stops, undercuts and overcuts become a lot more important. So that will be something to watch out for, definitely. As Nut now enters in to Sector 2, or rather exiting out of Sector 2. I always get those white lines mixed up. 4 minutes left on the clock. Can he improve his time? Currently last on the board with a 1:36.3. Red Panda there saying medium to hard is also viable as well. I feel like that's a bit too slow. Yeah, you lose track position, exactly. Yeah, I don't see that being too widely adopted there. And a lot of the green AstroTurf there on the side. Yeah, down through the brakes now. Nice use of the apexes.
Say everyone would be coming out for their final laps now. I think Revo's close to starting his final lap.
3 minutes 30 on the board. Here we go. Nut will come across the line. It looks faster. It is by 3/10 to 1:36.0, so he will jump Band there. So Band now relegated to that bottom spot, but I'm sure he'll come out of the pits soon enough to try and improve it. Let's jump on board with Revo then. As he comes around the last couple of corners, he'll be looking to improve his time of 1:33.4, which Seb is awfully close to, but I can't imagine Revo's given it everything yet. Here we are on board with the current WDC. How much faster can he make it around this track? A 1:33 is already ridiculous, but I'm sure there's a lot more in the tank with this guy. And we're about to find out. Here we go. You can see how aggressive he is on the downshift because of how effective it is in the game. And it's something that is counterintuitive. You don't think that would work, and it definitely would have worked in a real car. You'd blow up the car. But in here, it's you can just downshift as fast as you want. Something that you cannot do in 2020. They have tweaked the engine configuration, so you can't just shift down whenever you want.
It's amazing watching him drive. It's like watching a machine.
Yeah, a little bit. And that's what you get with hours and hours of practice. When you want to strive to be the best at something, you got to put in the time. That's what he's done, and these are the results. It might not be pretty on your journey, but once you get to the end, it's a thing of beauty. Here we go now through Sector 3. So last time he did invalidate towards the end. He had to come in for a bit. This time everything seems pretty good. Hopefully he'll be able to make it to the rest. 1:22 as we hit the second last corner through the apex. Nice tight 1:30 as he kisses the corner, but he goes very, very wide, but it's nope. There it is. I was going to say that is most definitely not legal, and it wasn't. So a 1:33.4 is still the time to beat. He did a 1:33.0, but of course invalidated because of that going out wide, touching the blue stripes there. So now on board with Seb. Now Seb has a chance to try and beat this time. Will he do it? It'll be the first time that anybody has beaten Revo on pole legitimately this season. Revo, of course, having to retire on some races and whatnot, but I would love to see someone absolutely smash that time.
It's going to cost some money.
Adzi and Seb. Yeah. That's. Oh wow,
No.
Revo got disqualified from the session because
No.
he parked his car off the track. Alright, so out through sector 2. And then running all the way down to the bottom. How much is he up there? Well, that is Revo disqualified from the session. Which means that his time now becomes invalidated. So Seb is now on provisional pole, and I'm assuming he'll keep it unless someone can beat his time. But I think Seb's travelling faster anyway.
Now, I'm fairly certain Revo did that on purpose.
Probably. I will see. We'll see. We'll have to ask him later. Here we go. So Seb now coming around that final corner. Will he improve on his time of a 1:33.7? He's drifting! And still improves. Okay. So Seb deciding a little Tokyo drift there in Abu Dhabi and still improves only by 0.2, but it's an improvement nonetheless. So 1:33.564. And now I sort of have to make it... I'm going to have to think about this one because technically... That's not... Legitimately, he has out-qualified Revo.
No.
Because Revo did set a time, right? So, I'm going to have to think about that one because earlier on in the season, for those who aren't aware... Oh, Geordie in the wall there, no big deal. For those who aren't aware, earlier in the season, I did put out a sort of gauntlet. I said that if anybody could legitimately out-qualify Revo, I'd PayPal them $50. Technically... that qualifies. But
I don't think so. I'm fairly certain Revo took himself out on purpose,
Yeah,
and his
but-
time was still faster than Seb's.
we'll figure it out. Okay, so that is the end of the session. Mikau will stay second. Morning, Joe. Thank you for tuning in. All right, let's have a look at this final grid. No major shifts, but anyway, Seb will start in the top spot at 1:33.564. Mikau in second with a 1:33.6. Potsy in third, 1:34.1. T-Mac will start in the second slot of the second row of the grid, 1:34.2. Matoid there with a 1:34.4. Wahid, Major Payne, Flyboy, Geordie, and combined round out the top 10. Smitty with an off earlier on, I believe, so he'll start 11th with a 1:35.4. Polo, Bandcamp, and the rest. Lotus there at 17, didn't set a time. And Revo, of course, with that disqualification, so he will start right at the back. Yes, Hobbsy, that's right. Revo did do a 33.4, so that's where I'm a little confused, because he didn't beat the time that Revo set, but technically he did out-qualify him because he was disqualified. So we'll have to... Yeah, we'll have a debate. I'm sure Seb will want me to send him money, but we'll see how it goes.
I still think that doesn't count considering he took himself out. If Seb actually did beat his time and Revo did that, I'd probably make the argument in Seb's favour. But considering he didn't actually beat Revo's time, I'd say your money's safe.
Here comes Farmer. There weren't any conditions in the deal that said if Revo does it deliberately, it doesn't count. This is sounding more and more like the. Well, they didn't stipulate that it had to be time trial.
Farmer going into lawyer mode.
That's correct, yeah. So, we'll see. Welcome to court. That's right, kangaroo court. All right. So now we just got to wait for all these guys to ready up, set up their strategies, so on and so forth. Looks like most people have done that, though, so we should be able to kick things off. Now, as with all races, there will be a formation lap, which is the final chance for these guys to get some I always say it wrong, temperature in their tyres and brakes.
Always an important part of the race.
So there is Seb in the Red Bull leading the pack. Mikau in the Haas just behind him. Potsy in the McLaren.
Okay, so... everyone except Bandcamp from 11th downward electing to start on the mediums.
Mm-hmm. So if you start on the mediums, then I guess is that a one stopper or you're just doing the two stopper in reverse?
I'm fairly certain they'll just do the two stopper in reverse.
Judge Dingo. Nah, just an annoyingly analytical mind. Yeah, we've got Russell Crowe here in the chat. Righto, so everyone on mediums except Band. So Band electing to start on the soft tyre. So he's obviously going to have a faster stint than the guys, but it'll depend on how long his tyres last. How long do they last around here usually? I'm really not familiar with the Abu Dhabi too much.
Probably 8 laps, maybe 9.
Ah, okay. Ali in the chat saying about 5 to 6. Yeah, all right. We'll take an average. We'll say 7.
Yeah, 7 works. Depends how long you want to put.
Yeah, okay. So it'll be interesting to see how it all evolves. But the other thing too is how hard is Riva going to fight through this pack? What do we reckon? Is he going to do what he did in the 2010s and just No, it wasn't 2010s.
I reckon he will be in 11th place after the first lap.
In 11th after the first lap. Okay, so
yeah.
So he'll jump up 7 positions. Right. Going to get to first. Oh, I have no doubt that Revo will get to first, but how long will it take is a question. Simdogger there. 8 laps after quali, 9 fresh. Okay, yeah, cool. Fair enough. So 8 laps after quali. So that'll mean the mediums go for, what, closer to 16? 19? Something like that?
About that. Yeah, about that.
Right,
I probably wouldn't push more than 20 out of them.
We'll find out. All right, well, everyone is now lining up. You can see that the camera angle's crap, but I can't really do anything about that. We'll wait for these lights to go, and then we'll kick off this final here at Abu Dhabi. There it is. The lights are out, and the cars are away. Smoke billowing from the tyres. Mikau's going for an early attack. He's got that inside line. It looks like it might work. Forces Seb out to the side, and they're still drag racing as they come up to the second sector, and Mikau... Oh, no! Seb manages to squeeze it back, so Seb's... Oh, but he's sideways! And he's lost the end plate. Cars are everywhere. There goes the Rolex sign. Oh, my God. Okay, so Seb, an early exit there. His car is fine. There is an end plate missing. You would think we were watching Matzoid, but we're not. It is his teammate, and he's gone all the way from 1st to 12th. That's pretty rough. And unfortunate. So hopefully he'll be able to get himself composed and make an attack earlier on. Let's jump up a couple as well. So just going up to 8th there. Gus Rules in a nice little pocket. He's moved up. Combine's moved up as well. Flyboy and Combine still fighting there. Seb trying to make his way through. Will drop down as we see Combine trying to fight with Flyboy on the side. He's just off the screen. There he is there. You can see the Pink Panther just to the left. It's Combine now slots in behind. You can see Matzoid. It's Seb who's just dropped another position there as well. Apollo's gone up. So there's a little bit... Oh, as he accidentally turns into the side of it, but no damage there. So Seb is having some trouble with that car.
Gus Rules making 7 positions in the first lap.
Gus has done an incredible job here. An incredible job off the line. It was a weird one because Seb had that, and then just as he was turning that corner, the car just decided to not go straight. And and he just drifted out. Now everyone managed to avoid him. You saw cars going left and right to do so. And the poor Rolex sign got taken out, but that's okay. So as it stands past lap 1. Now, here's an interesting thing. Revo has made 1 position. So everyone's predictions have gone out the wall. So he's not pushing hard. He's probably taking it very, very easy. But as it stands, Mikau is leading this race. Potty close behind. Let's jump up to Wahid, who's within attacking distance here of T-Mac as they come through the hairpin. We have a Sector 1, Sector 2 yellow flag, and a virtual safety car has been called. Smitty. And Smitty, you can see the blue dot there on the map. He has basically punted himself out of this race just before the Sector 1 chicane. Oh, it's a Sector 2 chicane, sorry. Funnily enough, he kind of thought that might happen to him. I believe earlier in the general chat, he said something about, hey, I might punt this.
I can guarantee you that that's going to happen in Tier 2 as well, because for a full car of fuel going through that fast sequence in the first sector is very difficult to control, especially if you haven't practiced.
Okay, so the VSC has now ended. We are one driver less in this grid, so 17 drivers left in this race, lap 2 of 28, so we still have plenty of race to go. Currently on board with Geordie, sitting 7th position here, trying to chase down Wahid, who's trying to do the same to T-Mac ahead. A nice gap here, about 5/10 between the both of them. Apollo and Combined switching places, Bandcamp making up one there as well.
Interesting, Seb hasn't pitted yet.
No, he thinks that maybe he's got the car under control now. It is lap 3, so that means DRS will be enabled. So we will see more overtaking opportunities as they evolve throughout this race. Having a look at the gaps here, the closest cars on track. So Seb now comes into the pit, speak of the devil, and he shall pit, apparently. So Seb will go in there and get that front wing fixed. Will he change tyres? Yes, we can see the medium tyres come on. Might as well, as you're in there. And as we see some of these gaps, we can see Revo starting to slowly climb up. He's now in 14th place. There we go, coming up into the DRS section. There go the wings. And that will give these guys, again, roughly about 335 Ks to the end of the straight. There we go, have a look at this. Major Pain and T-Mac are fighting. Let's jump up too. So watching T-Mac here trying to catch up. Now Major Pain won't have DRS, but T-Mac will. So it's going to be a pretty cruisy overtake on the outside. However, if Major Pain plays his cards right, he might be able to defend. Oh, they come together. But T-Mac does manage to win out in the end. I thought T-Mac might get spun around, but he managed to keep that car straight. So great job to the Williams driver there. Unfortunate for Major Pain, but luckily no damage between the two drivers.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any penalties yet.
No, we have had a car go off, but yes, no major penalty. I don't think there's been any penalties at all. No, we haven't. As Mikel says, yet another fastest lap, 139.4 there. Sphinx watching this in the R Factor 2 Le Mans 24 hour. That's it. That's called efficiency, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Revo just cracked that time, 138.6 there from the back, 13th place so far. He is coming up on his teammate. They'll probably be looking to make a move as Wahid checking the distance between himself and Major Pain, realising the chicane's probably not the best place to do it. And Major Pain's got to be careful because T-Mac is extending that gap and Major Pain wants to make sure he stays in that DRS range. As it stands, it should be fine. If they pass that DRS line, the wings flap open. So T-Mac might have a strange knock on the back of his car soon.
Band and Revo both looking to overtake Power combined.
Oh, here we go! Look at this! Oh, wow! That was awesome. Okay, so I'm not sure if I managed to catch that, but let's have a look. Nope, doesn't look like it.
Combined just gets swallowed by a sea of yellow on either side.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Damn, I really wish I'd caught that because, yeah, Combined just gets overtaken by both Renaults at the same time.
That was
an excellent
awesome.
move. Excellent move.
Wow, that was so well done.
All right, so the lap's ticking away. Lap 5 of 28 now. Revo up into 11th. His teammate just behind. Geordie decides to come into the pits now. It's going to allow Gus Rules and a couple of other drivers to make their way forward. Zunix, can Revo tow Band to a podium? If that's the overarching goal, man, that is some strats. There it is, Simdogger capping it for us. Thank you, sir. Might just have a quick look. Did that actually go through? No. Ah, that's upsetting. Alright, so Wahid looking, but not enough space.
Lotus looking to overtake Combined in the same place.
There we go. Major Payne going a little bit slick there coming out. So can Wahid catch him now? It's a decently long straight, but I don't think he'll be able to squeeze it out. The Haas going on the outside. Everyone taking the safe line.
So Lotus overtakes Combined and Nut overtakes Jacob Meister.
Two great moves there. Nut and Jacob Meister still fighting at the back there. Let's have a look. Oh, that was an interesting camera angle there from the front wing. Nut has to be careful because if he goes too far out, he will get pinged for corner cutting. Jacob Meister currently sitting 15th place. His teammate sitting 4th.
Revo close to the back of the Pink Panther combo.
We'll be looking to make a jump soon. Currently sitting 10th. As they come around that first corner, Apollo, ooh, there's a little bit of rubber banding happening. Hopefully it's not too severe. Revo's looking to go up on the outside. Apollo is not shifting his position at all. They've got to be careful. You don't want those tyres to touch. But Revo will get the job done. Moves up into 9th. The second racing point now on the target. Flyboy himself trying to get past Gus Reels there in 7th place. And he'll probably do it as well. Gus won't have DRS. Here comes the racing point. Look how much speed that DRS gives you. Gus realising, yep, there's nothing happening. Flyboy will pass with no... Whoa, but Gus was going massive into the braking zone. And now he's sideways.
Wow.
Jesus. Revo's going to be able to get past.
Yeah. Yeah, Adzi, if Matsui keeps his implants on, he's got a chance for a podium.
So Revo gets past, and have a look. Wahid and Major Payne are also fighting. Wait a minute, Gus Rules and Revo are still going at it, but Revo will win in the end. Oh, but Gus Rules, there must be something up there because he just went really, really wide into that corner. Oh no, he still has his wing, so I'm not sure what's happening there, but Apollo is keen. He goes up on the inside. What a crossover! That was a great move by Apollo. Saw that Gus was carrying a little bit more speed, pulls up, and then just whoo, goes through the corner. What a move!
That was brilliant. Oh!
Why wouldn't I talk?
No. Oh, no.
That's upsetting. Don't move. Wait for the cars. There we go. Yep, off the track. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. Maybe we can get a... No, we can't. All right. Everything is broken. Typical.
Mikau just pitted and so did Matsoid. T-Mac, Wahid and Combined also in the pits.
All right, so they've all decided to switch over to the medium tyre. It's unfortunate for Apollo. He does an amazing move and then just comes out of that final corner a bit too hot. Slides out of the track. That's rough. That is rough. All right, let's jump up a couple of positions there. Gus Rules now looking to make a move on Lotus. As Lotus moves up to 6th place due to the massive amount of pit stops. Gus Rules having a rough time there before. Going way too hot into the braking zone. This time he's got DRS. Goes up on the outside. Lotus will be looking to defend the inside line. But he gets muscled out. Oh man, Mikau might even make the jump as well. Lotus, a little bit too much room given. Yep, he makes it forward. Lotus decides to back off. So Lotus is in 2 positions there.
Simdogger in chat. Pepsi's gone flat.
Pepsi's gone flat. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Smitty, that's unfortunate, man. Bad luck, dude. Revo up to 7th first now.
Yep, so Revo now up back to the top. Fourth place Potsy in second. Mikau looking to make a move on Gus Rules going on the inside, braking a little bit later. Doing it with quite a decent amount of flair there. So the Haas driver now up into 2nd place as Potsy goes into the pits. So let's jump back down to 8th place here where Geordie is looking to make a move. Potsy fresh out of the pits there. Nut getting caught in 6th. I'm sure the McLaren is about to attack. Geordie will be looking to do the same.
Now, Revo hasn't pitted yet. He's in first place and has a 7-second gap to second place.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. Oh, Nut holding up the rest of the pack there a little bit. Didn't seem to have a great break session there. Here we go. You can see Geordie and Nut side by side. Geordie taking the inside line. Nut, whoa, did a bit of contact there, but nothing too major. Let's have a quick check here, and yes, he has both his end plates. So Matoid's still in the green. Oh, his Nut goes out a lot wide.
Oh.
So Nut gets overtaken. T-Mac is looking to do the same, but he bumps him out. So he's not just letting him go without a fight. He's saying, no, I'll hold my position a little bit. So T-Mac getting held up. Matoid is now past that. As T-Mac goes up on the inside. Definitely a faster car. Jump up a couple there. Now Potsy trying to get past T-Mac's teammate.
A lot of scrappy battles through this race. It's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's been holding up. Lap 9 to 28, so we've still got a ton of race to go. And here we go, on board with the McLaren. Now, Jacob Meister will have DRS, but I don't think the car's fast enough. As you can see, Potsy makes absolute short work. He might even make a double overtake, because Gus won't have DRS either. Oh, there goes the McLaren. 2 spots up there.
Wow.
That is a great job from 6th to 4th. Gus Rules had no choice because he had no DRS. So much faster, which brings into question, what setup is Jacob Meister using? Because that's a ridiculous amount of downforce. The speed difference in those cars was so crazy.
Adzi seems to think Revo's going to pit on lap 12.
Lap 12 for softs and then lap 20 for softs again. Right strategy. All right, we'll see what happens. So Matoid and Geordie now fighting. Matoid coming out on top, 6th place. Actually, let's have a visit down to the back end of the field for a little bit as Seb is catching up to a small little pack there, led by Apollo in 11th. Wahid very close by, so is Major Payne. T-Mac picking up a 3-second time penalty there. We have a Sector 3 yellow flag, which is going to, I believe, is Jacob Meister, who just went off the track there. He's now all the way down in the 17th position. Major Payne looking for an outside move on Wahid. Oh, gets a little bit of a bump. Major Payne on the fresh softs, so he will be faster. But what's interesting here is how much speed Seb is picking up as he follows both of them battling. Seb, of course, with a very, very unfortunate lap 1 incident. He'll be looking to try and climb the board as quick as possible to see if he can get back up there to the top. Oh, a Nut. Here we go. So Wahid going from the left side. Nut's not having a great one so far. He's been overtaken by almost everyone. And here we go. Here comes the DRS. Look at the speed difference between the Red Bull and the Haas. God, he gets... Oh, there's contact! And that's put serious wobbles on Major Payne there. Oh, boy. Oh, they're still contacting. Have a look. Flyboy's trying to get past the carnage. Which he will.
This guy's really getting their elbows out.
That is rough. Seb just absolutely went forward, and then the rear tyre collected the front of that Haas.
T-Mac and Gus side by side too.
Yeah, I thought Major Payne was off then, but he's managed to hold it, so well done to you. And Seb now still in attack mode. He's looking to get the sister team out of the way, and he does. Ooh! Is a man possessed? He went on the inside with zero care. He was just like, we are the better team. Move over. And Nut pretty much had to comply. Jesus, Seb is on a warpath right now as Geordie and T-Mac make positions. Lotus and Gus Rules both into the pits. And Revo. So Revo pitted on lap 11. You were off by 1, Adzi. There you go. So Seb now up into 8th position. The comeback is real.
Oh, Revo fitting a set of mediums. He's going medium, soft.
All right. We'll see how that pays out. So Revo there in 5th place. T-Mac close behind. Let's jump up there. T-Mac tries to chase down the man in question. Oh, can he pull up the car? He can. So Revo will go up on the inside of Geordie. Revo is now 4th position on the track. As T-Mac now looks to try and make a move here on the Alpha. Trying to keep an eye on all of these battles.
So everyone's made one stop now.
Yes. Yes, everyone has made their first stop. We are lap 11 of 28, so we still have more than half of the race to go. As Matzoid picks up a 3-second time penalty there. Ooh, T-Mac gone a little bit wide as well, but I don't think he got pinged. T-Mac just doesn't seem to have the speed to catch up to this Alpha. Both on relatively same amount of wear. Geordie about 2 laps ahead. Here comes Revo now on Matzoid. Matzoid, who's currently 3rd, great position to be. But he will definitely see that giant yellow and black weapon in the rearview mirror, and he knows he can't really do anything, and Revo is going to have the DRS detection zone in his favour, so long, farewell, and thanks for all the draft. Matto now in a 4th. Revo only has 2 people in his way. Can he get back up to that top spot?
I'd say there's a good chance. He's 10 seconds behind, but he's absolutely flying on those fresh mediums.
Revo...
And considering everyone's stopped, he's actually in a net P3 right now.
So right now, Adzi is saying Revo cannot win it. Mikau is a lock. All right, we'll see if that comes true. As we are on board with Seb, who is still in 8th place, trying to fight off Flyboy here. He's doing a good job to battle him, and Major Payne has probably got a bone to pick with the Red Bull driver. Almost taking him out of the race. Lights, next game you can't call the Romeo's Alphas. I can. I just have to be very clear in saying Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm sure there'll be a nickname. Basically, I'll just pay attention to whatever... what's his name? And I've totally forgotten it. Crofty says, and then I'll pick it up from that. So Revo setting the fastest lap there, 1:34.75. I think Nut also picked up a time penalty.
Now, Apollo set the fastest lap last lap with, I think, 0.7 slower than Revo's lap.
Wow. Okay. Ooh, Geordie also picking up a 3-second time penalty there. So we're starting to see those fly. Can Flyboy catch Seb? Now, Seb won't have DRS, but Flyboy will. Is that enough to pull? Now, Seb will definitely be running a lower downforce setup, and it's proof in the pudding. Have a look at how far ahead that Red Bull is. Flyboy has DRS, and he still can't catch him. So there is a massive, drastic difference between the setups these two guys are using, and whatever it is, that does explain why Seb had that off. Because obviously the low downforce wasn't enough to keep that car straight as he made his way around lap 1. So that explains a lot. It explains why he's so fast in the straights, but it also explains why he has to be very, very careful going around some of these corners, even as Flyboy catches the slide there.
Not looking to overtake Gus Rules again. Doesn't quite get the move done.
Evo yet again. Fastest lap, 1:37.4.
He's catching Mikau by about a second a lap at this point.
We'll have to keep an eye on that gap, as well as literally everything else happening on the field. I really hope we can have some form of race director for next season. That would free me up so easily, but we'll see what happens. Now, Bandcamp is another one we have to pay attention to here, because he is catching Major here. Major's tyres are starting to get to that wear point. So as fast as Major is trying to be, he will be limited by the amount of grip that he can effectively use. He goes to DRS, and have a look. That Renault is catching, and he's probably going to go for an overtake. Decides to go on the left, but at the speed they're traveling, he's going to have to make sure he hits those braking points in order to make the turn. And I think they're still side by side. You can see them wrestling for that position, but Band does make it out on top. However, Major Payne will have the DRS coming through. Oh, so does Band. Is there a fight happening? Oh, he goes up on the outside, but it's not the place you really want to be. Hard on the brakes here. And the Renault will defend the inside. And he keeps it. So well done. Oh, hold on.
Switch back.
Band's had a really bad exit coming out of there. So Major's now got the lead. Wow. Okay, so Major Payne back in 10th place. Woohoo, what a fight. What a fight.
So well done by Major Payne there.
He did that exceptionally well. He did essentially what Apollo did the last time round. He knew that the car was going a little bit faster, decided to pull up a little bit, let the car make the mistake, and then just caught him up on the crossover. That is great. So Bandcamp was certain he'd had that position, goes through the left, comes into that right, and then thinks, yep, no worries, I'm in the lead. And then, man, Major Payne just absolutely cuts under him. What a great drive. Great drive. This is exactly the type of racing you want to see at a finale.
These guys have really improved a lot since the start of the season.
Which is why I'm all the more keen to get Season 5 underway. A brand new game, learning. Everyone's going to be pretty much on a blank slate. It'll be very, very interesting to see how the drivers develop. How much has the game changed? Will we just see more of the same? It's going to be nuts. Now, here comes Ben. Now, it's a little bit easier for him. He goes past a lot quicker. And forces Major Payne out a little bit there as well. Band's not afraid to get his elbows out today either. And we're in the same sort of situation again. But this time it seems Band will keep the speed ahead. So let's move up again to Flyboy, who is trying to get past Seb. Seb's still in 8th position, so holding his ground well. Going all the way from last place to 8th. That's a pretty good comeback. I'm sure he'd prefer to be higher up there, but can only push so much. Revo's time now down to 3.5 seconds. He's got it from 7 to 3.5.
Penalties are flowing freely at this point. Everyone's gotten a lot more careless.
Yeah, do have to be careful. We still have plenty of race to go. We're only on lap 16. So we are past the halfway mark, but more than 10 laps on the board. T-Mac and Geordie both coming into the pits there, switching on to fresh mediums. So they'll go to the end. Gus Rules picks up a 3 second.
That's 9 seconds for Gus now.
So Major Payne is he's at the 8 lap mark for those tyres. I can't imagine they're going to hold much more speed in them. Now it's going to be Band who's going to make a move on Flyboy. Goes up on the outside, but will he have enough space to finalise it? Yes, he does. Flyboy will fall in line. And Bandcamp moves up into 7th place. This is, I believe, one of Band's best places on track now for the entire season. He has been plagued with some really, really bad battles sometimes. Sometimes people cutting him off, sometimes him getting a little bit too much, and he ended up getting knocked down into the later places. But 7th, this is really, really good showing for Band. Hopefully he can hold on and get some decent points here. Now he'll be trying to catch up to Seb, so...
If Wahid maintains his position, he'll jump up 2 positions from 9th to 7th in the championship standings.
That'd be a great boost of confidence. There we go, around. So the gap now between Revo and Mikau is only 1.5 seconds. Now, of course, both of those guys will have to make yet another pit stop. So it's up in the air at the moment. Major Payne there picking up a 3-second time penalty. I'm assuming he'd come into the pits. Yes, he will. And so does Seb. So Band jumps up yet another position there, up to 6th. So how much of a lead can he smash out while Seb's in the pits? Flyboy close behind, but just outside that DRS range with 1 second. Let's jump down a couple. Back to 10th place, where T-Mac is trying to catch Lotus here. Breaks later in the section, and he gets it done. So T-Mac now up to 9th place. Revo and Mick out. It's down to under a second. Yeah, let's have a look on that.
I expect Mikau to pit this lap or next lap.
He is on the 10 laps of wear. Yep, it will be close. So he'll know that Revo will have to make another stop as well. So maybe the math is flying through his head right now. What can he do? You can see Revo is ready to attack. Will Mikau pull into the pits? Or will he continue on? Yeah, he's going to the right side. That'll mean pits it is, and Revo will take the lead of this race. Here on lap 17, or 18 rather. So Revo yet again on top. But yet with another pit stop to go as Apollo picks up a 3-second time penalty again. Alright, let's go back down the field. 14th place. Gus trying to chase down Seb. Now, Seb is on fresh medium tyres. Apollo on softs. Okay, yep, so Apollo's getting up to that critical wear point as well. Bandcamp, Flyboy, Wahid all in the pits now.
Geordie overtaking Lotus into turn 1.
So
Dude, the cars sound so nice in the tunnels.
So a ton of cars are switching positions there as they all come back out. Seb and Apollo. Whoa, what happened to Apollo there? He spun.
Oh no.
He lost a ton of positions there. So those tyres are catching up to him. That's interesting. I saw his name just absolutely drop in the standings. So he's had yet another spin. Back up here, 6th place combined. Trying to chase down T-Mac, but he didn't have a great exit coming out of that section. So T-Mac is now away, 0.8 the gap.
Gus.
See, yeah, you can see the Combined having to fight these tyres. He is losing grip.
Combine the Bandcamp side to side.
You mean Gus Rules?
I mean Gus Rules. I had to say combined and before the reason I was
Oh,
just like
hold on.
combined.
We have to have a look here. So Gus Rules manages to win out there. He's now ahead. Gus was pretty much off the track. Bandcamp trying to get up, gets a little lock up there. Major Payne is watching very close indeed because he'll be looking to jump possibly both of them if they fight too hard.
Big train building now behind Gus.
Alright, here we go. So let's have a look at these gaps. Band is 4/10. Major is 3/10. Flyboy is 5/10. So there could be an attack here from Major Payne. Gus Rules has got to worry about this. So either it's a blessing in disguise. Bandcamp will get caught up with Major Payne and Gus will be able to get away. Or there'll be too much of an attack. Major Payne moves out to the right. Realizes he can't follow too hard. Dirty Air will be way too heavy. And he risks trying to bump into the back of him, and you don't want a broken wing, especially not this late in the race. Here we go. Here comes the DRS section. So Bandcamp will definitely have speed over Gus Rules here. So does Major Payne. So does Flyboy. What, or how rather, does this change? Bandcamp moves up to the left. Major Payne decides to do so as well. So Gus loses 2 positions. There they are. So, oh, Major Payne! Realised he couldn't stop in time. Had to dive all the way into the inside. And unfortunately, will cop a 5-second penalty for corner. Oh, man, picks up a 3-second as well. Because technically he cut 2 corners there. Oh, that's rough. That is so rough. Major Payne tried to make a very, very late dive, but couldn't pull up the car. Realised he was going to hit Band. Takes the safer option, but unfortunately picks up time penalties because of it. So he will drop down to 12th place as Bandcamp makes up 2. And Gus Rules and Major are still fighting for that position. Oh, Gus gets hit a little bit side. So Major Payne will end out on top. And all throughout this, Flyboy is waiting. He's waiting to capitalise on all of it. Lap 20 of 28. 8 laps left on the board. And And Revo is on fresh softs now, down to third place. And Potsy is leading this race, but he's got 12 laps of wear with 8 laps to go. I'm sure he'll still have to make a stop. Mikau, however, does not. So can Mikau hold off Revo? I doubt it. Revo on soft tyres. It's essentially a nuke.
So Major Payne has accumulated 15 seconds of penalties so far.
That's a rough go of it as Wahid makes the overtake on Flyboy. I don't think Flyboy was expecting that, but Wahid on fresh tyres.
Revo just overtook Mikhail.
Okay, so now it's just Potsy left in the way, and Potsy will definitely pit, so Revo will hold this lead. Alright, so down there combined, overtaking Nut there for 14th place. Wahid is a rocket here on these softs. So let's have a look. Will he be able to catch Gus Rules before the end? He's getting a lot of speed, but I don't think he'll be able to make that inside corner. No. He'll take the safer option, which is what you want to do because you definitely don't want to repeat what Major Payne did.
No.
You can avoid it anyway. Now Flyboy isn't happy at all that the Silver Arrow overtook him. So he will be looking to make that position back. However, it'll be a couple of laps before he can do so because Wahid's just so much faster on those softs. You can see as Wahid makes the overtake on Gus Rules there. He'll move up to 11th place. Bandcamp in 9th. Lotus now in the pits. So, I mean, these guys will get a free position. Actually, let's jump up a couple. Potsy on fresh softs. Coming up onto the Alfa Romeo of Geordie here. This will be absolute no problem. Have a look at this. DRS on. Yep, no worries. On your left. And there goes the McLaren.
Yep. Now, Mikhail's sitting pretty for a podium position. I think if he gets this one, that's a record for the most consecutive podiums in a single season.
No small feat. So we have a little bit of a train happening here. So Wahid rather, staying in 10th. Gus Rules within the second. So is Flyboy. So is Combined. Here we go on the soft tyre. Pulls out onto the right. Not the ideal line, but can he make it to the end? Flyboy will look to defend the inside, but no, he can't quite do it. And Combined goes past, so Flyboy loses yet another position. Oh, gives him a love tap though. Come on, you, he says.
Combined will take a 3-second time penalty for his troubles.
Did he? Did he just get a cut? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. So Combined now, looking at Gus. And Gus Rules moving over to the right side, so Gus Rules will pit. What will be his final? I'm assuming he'll just jump on the softs. Probably a faster option. So Combined now trying to chase down Wahid, who is trying to chase down Major Payne.
Matt Sword close to the back of T-Mac.
Yeah, all the way up in 4th there, and the jump has been made. This could be a really good result for Matoid here on the medium tyre with only 3 laps of wear. He'll go to the end on this. This could be a really good result for Matoid.
Absolutely. If he maintains his front wings and his end plates, he'll be sipping champagne.
So while we're watching T-Mac and Matoid, keep in mind that Potsy has soft tyres and is 4 tenths behind. So this McLaren is definitely looking to make a serious jump here. Got a Sector 2 yellow flag.
Pepsi went for a spin.
Yep. Okay, looks like it is Pepsi there on the hairpin. Jump back one car. So T-Mac is struggling to keep up with the Red Bull here. And as they come into the long winding section up to that first Sector 1 chicane, Potty is going to have a very, very, very fast travel time here. Seb picking up a 3-second time penalty. So does Nut. Here we go. Can T-Mac get caught by the first chicane? Probably not. That is a very large distance. Ooh! Pulling up just in time. That's good.
That was very close. I'm seeing a lot of penalties flying.
All right, so Potsy will get past, no problem. And Matzoid, he's rocketed away. That's crazy. Let me just check. He still has his end plates. Jesus. Go figure we see a reformed Matzoid at the last race of the season.
We might not be able to make the joke next season.
Yeah, that's it. It's a cliffhanger now. We'll have to see, has Matzoid reformed? Oh, Potsy picking up a 3-second time penalty there. So he's got to watch out on those cuts. You do gain some time, but you'll also lose it. As Major Payne picks up another 5 seconds. Jesus, they are flying out of here.
Yeah, that's Potsy's first penalty, and Major Payne is sitting on 21 seconds.
He's close to disqualification.
He's close. He's getting there.
T-Mac picks up another one as well. Oh, man, Abu Dhabi. He's taking no prisoners.
My pen's running out of ink.
Taking absolutely no prisoners. 4 laps to go. 24 of 28. And Revo is still in the lead with a comfortable 5-second gap. We have another Sector 2 yellow flag based on what I can see. Actually, I don't see anybody that's off badly. But anyway, it was up there.
Potsy mega close to Matzoid.
Yep, so he'll overtake him here on this DRS section. No issue. Watch how much speed he gains. Ready? And bye. It's crazy. Whew.
That's silly.
Red Bull ran out of 150k front wings. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Red Bull amended the contract. So when they signed Matzoid on as a driver, and Matzoid was like, Red Bull gives you wings, huh? And then Red Bull was like, actually, just like internet companies will say unlimited internet, but then if you go over like 2 terabytes, they limit you down. That's what Red Bull has done. It's like, look, Matzoid, we got to talk. I know what our tagline is, but pull it back, buddy. Pull it back. All right, so Potsy is holding third strong. Let's jump down with 10th place is Wahid on those wearing tyres. He's trying to catch Major Payne there. Now, Major Payne will be at higher advantage, of course. 7-lap mediums versus 6-lap softs, but Wahid is one fast boy. So will he be able to make the jump? Bandcamp currently holding 8th place, but a 13-second gap between him and Seb. So Seb looking strong in 7th. Hopefully he'll be able to stay there.
With Major Payne's penalties, if he finishes in 9th, he'll drop down to 12th.
That's right, yeah, 21 seconds. Hey. Yet another Sector 2 yellow flag. It looks like one of the racing points. And it's Apollo. Apollo not having a great race. No, 52 seconds behind 16th place. So, yeah, Apollo not having a great one at all. All right, here we go. So Major Payne won't have DRS. Wahid will, but that is a 7/10 gap. I don't think he'll be able to catch him. Oh, it's coming up fast. Does he brake late? Does he risk it? No. No, Wahid's not one to push the envelope, as it were. But I'm sure the second DRS section will spell better days. Let's have a look.
Matzoid's pretty close to the back of Potsy.
Here we go, up on the outside. And the move gets done. 9th place for Wahid. So Wahid really does have to be careful. 7 laps of wear now. Those tyres aren't going to feel great, but there's only 2 laps left in the race, so if he can hold on, he'll get that 9th place. Here comes Matzoid now, so 5/10 to Potsy. 7 laps of wear on those mediums. DRS will be helpful. Can Matzoid potentially get a podium in this race? Now, Potsy does have penalties, correct?
3 seconds on both of them.
So they both have. So this is an even playing field as it stands. You can see Matzoid with the DRS. And again, there's a thing here with setups because that McLaren is staying very well ahead. So down through the gears into the section. Now he'll be closer again to the DRS, but he probably won't catch him. This Red Bull just doesn't seem to be able to keep up. So Matzoid will have to pull out something quickly, or Potsy will have to slip and make a mistake getting another penalty, and then as long as Matzoid stays behind, he'll get that win, or the podium rather. There are fights happening everywhere. Back down to 7th place now to Geordie. Now Seb in 6th place. Geordie can't be happy about that. He'll be looking to overtake him back, both on similar wear. But we've already deduced that Seb has a lower downforce setup, so on these straights, I don't think Geordie's going to have a chance. Oh, Apollo Pepsi, man. 10 seconds. Oh, Geordie with a drift there into the corner. Nice catch. There goes Seb. He's absolutely rocketed away. Geordie will not be able to keep up with that car. And it looks like Seb just made a free position. 6th place now for the Red Bull.
Potsy defending very well.
That is the only other closest on track. Here we go, sector 3, yellow flag. Looks like it is Apollo again. And Apollo has come into the pits with 1 lap wear on soft. Something's wrong there.
Well, he'd also pitted.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, so it got really bad. He couldn't make that. That's unfortunate. He's going to drop a ton of positions there. Now it's 27 of 28. Revo still has the lead with a 7.5 second gap. So there's a good... It's a pretty sure bet that Revo will take the win here at Abu Dhabi. Mick with a comfortable 15-second gap between himself and 3rd place. So the real battle right now is can Matzoid rather. Can Matzoid make a jump on Potsy? I don't know. We're about to find out. Lap 28 has been triggered by the lead car. Matzoid, if there was ever a chance or ever a time to make a move, it's now. Can you do it? He still has his end plates. There's still 1 lap to screw that up, but I don't think so. I think Matzoid's on an attack vector here. He'll be looking to try and make that jump. The problem is, we saw this with Bandcamp last season. If you make an attack too early, the DRS lanes will reverse the work that you've done. So there's only 1 lap to go. So Matzoid could be in a good position here. If he holds true, if he holds behind this car, keeps this type of gap, the 2 DRS sections may give him enough to make the jump. Potsy has to know that. And Potsy has to know that those tyres are getting to their wear point. And the Red Bull is a lot faster this time round. But this might be the wrong move. Matzoid's going to make the overtake, but this could be the wrong move. Bandcamp did this last season. And it backfired because I can't remember who he was fighting, but the car behind just came past, and Potsy might do the same. Potsy's now in the DRS section. Can the McLaren catch him before the end, or does Matzoid have enough grip? It's going to be close. The McLaren's looking to make that peak. Matzoid places himself in the center of the track. Excellent defending. Great defensive position. It's caused Potsy to lock up that front left. And Matzoid might have just pulled off this 3rd place win here. It's going to be a race to the line. So Revo takes the win. Mick close behind. But can Potsy make this move, or has Matzoid absolutely aced it? As it stands, I think this Red Bull's done it. Yep, there's the little bit of a wiggle. He can't catch him now, and Matzoid pulls off a great move and takes P3 here at Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
Oh, well done. Absolutely well done.
Brilliant job. Look at Major Payne when they come across the line.
There goes Seb. T-Mac with penalties. Seb will jump him. Geordie there in 7th place. Bandcamp at Major Payne now. Coming around. Here we go. So keep in mind the Major Pain does have 21 seconds of penalties. Let's have a look here. And that's 1. Lotus will come across. That's 2. Gus Rules is 21 seconds behind. So that's it. So Major Pain will finish 11th. It's probably safe to say now. Actually, another thing to point out here is, have a look at this. There's still technically a fight to the line. Flyboy, Nut, and Wahid. This is the chance to make it. Oh, Wahid goes over the He takes the 2 positions. Wow. Wow.
No!
What a drive.
Oh, no.
Oh, no way. Flyboy. Oh, no way.
That is so unfortunate. Now, I did see Nut was trying to be the bigger man there by slowing down for Flyboy, but the spin just...
No way. Oh, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Wow, okay. Wahid, 2 positions. Go you, mate. Oh,
so,
man.
We can confirm that end plates do matter. Because
Yes.
Matt Sawyer has maintained them, and he ended up on the podium.
Well done, Matzo. That was a great move. That was a great race. Well-deserved podium. And Wahid saw it forming, just decides, I'm going to peek here in this inside, and he manages to gain 2 positions there. What a great job. That is so unfortunate for Flyboy, though. It was a strong race. But anyway, so Revo will take the win. And, of course, the World Drivers' Championship as well. Mikau with a great drive in second. Matzoid, what a job. He will take that 3rd place podium. Potsy, strong drive, but unfortunately not enough to hold on. He will finish 4th. Seb, very unfortunate lap 1, but he came back to get 5th, so that's a pretty strong comeback. T-Mac there in 6th. Geordie in 7th. Bandcamp in 8th. Lotus in 9th. And combined will round out the top 10. An unfortunate race for Major Pain with 19 seconds of penalties, it says there at the end. Wahid and Jacob Meister there, 12th, 13th, 14th for Nut. Unfortunate for Flyboy, not a great end there, but anyway, at least he finished.
Yeah.
Gus Rules, Apollo Pepsi in 17th, and unfortunately Smitty, who did DNF early on in the race, and that is our last. Okay, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. That is the last race of this season. We will still have streams coming forward. We'll still be running the 2010 series, and some of us are doing the 24-hour Le Mans on iRacing. But for us now, at least for Season 4, that is done. Tier 2 is around the corner, so don't go anywhere because that'll start. At least from me and Psycho, that's us. Hope you enjoyed it. I know we did. Again, I'm Kunai, this is Psycho, and we'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye for now.
See you guys.